I've been doing a lot of thinking. There's a lot of chatter on the internet. There's a lot of bad information on the internet. What there isn't enough of on the internet, especially for Orthodox Jews, are thoughtful voices who can hear an opinion from the secular world, who can hear an opinion from the religious world, who can hold both of those opinions in their mind, fully comprehend the consequences of these opinions, and help people navigate the way they should think about these things. I have done far too much doom scrolling in the past months, far too much time on social media, and it has become evident to me that what we are experiencing is truly a lack, a very vital lack of an Orthodox Jewish voice. I don't even want to use the term Orthodox, but it's necessary because we've come to really, really cherish the way that we are labeled in society. People will feel uncomfortable listening to unorthodox voices, unfortunately. So, what we are really lacking is an observant Orthodox voice in the Jewish YouTube philososphere. Now, this voice, primarily now, you might say, oh, this voice is clearly, um, I don't know, maybe it's Yosef Mizrahi, if you're one of those who follow him. You might say that it's Shmuley Boteach, if you follow him. Both of these voices, in my opinion, have done cataclysmic damage to the Jewish reputation. Nick Fuentes has just gone out explicitly saying that he basically doesn't know what he would debate Yosef Mizrahi on because he doesn't really know what they disagree on. This is unfathomable. To assume that they're the best voices or the most thoughtful voices of the time are those Nick Fuentes agrees with in the Orthodox Jewish world, it borders on dishonorable. And if you associate Chilul Hashem with the way that the Jews are perceived and the way that they carry God's name, then it is the utmost Chilul Hashem that the Orthodox Jewish world has had these people as their representatives in the social media world. Something needs to be done about this. We need Jews such as yourself, if you are someone who is interested, who has been interested in the debates of the past 2 decades, the past 3 decades perhaps, of the new atheists, of the new atheists, of the theologians, of William Lane Craig against Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, Dawkins, and Dennett. Though, if you know my views on those atheists, they were far, far lighter opponents than anyone who has a YouTube channel now in the philosophy sphere. The people nowadays, such as Alex O'Connor, Joe Fawley, and other YouTube channels, the various ones that exist, are far more well read than any of the four atheists, the four horsemen of the new atheist movement ever were. It is a shame that there was never a truly inspiring, truly a force to be reckoned with in the Orthodox Jewish world that involved themselves in these debates. Because I think that Judaism has a unique place in such matters. We have a truly rich tradition of not backing down from science, of being able to keep up with the times in a way that doesn't sacrifice our continuity, our integrity, in a way that doesn't sacrifice what Jews have always believed, and in a way that does not sacrifice the divinity of the monotheistic revelation that we all experienced on Sinai, that our ancestors experienced on Sinai, I should say. Voices like Rabbi Samuel Lebens, Rabbi Dr. Samuel Lebens, a very well-respected voice in the small alleyways of philosophy for those who are familiar with such subjects. But now, if you go on YouTube and you type up what is the Torah, what is Judaism all about, you will not find the more reputable voices, such as Rabbi Dr. Samuel Lebens. You will instead be inculcated with the voices the social medias love to promulgate, the voices such as Mizrahi, the voices such as Boteach. If these represent Judaism, I want no part in Judaism. And I mean that sincerely. You may be shocked at the bluntness with which I speak, at the unabashed way in which I at the unabashed way in which I speak about these topics at the moment. It's been a long time coming. We've truly gone to a place that I was hoping we could avoid. And I think that it's time to call on people who are interested in these topics in the Jewish world. If you're interested in doing a little bit more speaking about Jewish philosophy, if you're interested in starting a YouTube video, if you're interested in a topic that you feel you know a lot about, and you want to make a contribution to the world of philosophy and the YouTube philososphere, please reach out to me. You can reach me at aphilosophicaljew@gmail.com. I would be happy to work with you. I myself am trying to make time for such things, and I will be making time for such things in the very near future. You have my word. I do not want the Orthodox Jewish legacy, the traditional Jewish legacy, to be voices such as Boteach and Mizrahi. We have much more prominent voices that can do a much better job. We have people who are interested in these topics, who are not merely preaching to a congregation, who are not simply trying to be inspiring, but who are genuinely trying to find the truth. It's the final thing that I'll say is that, yes, I acknowledge as well that there are many new Jewish YouTube channels coming out trying to address these questions, such as Jewish Learning Institute, such as HUK's Rabbi Daniel Rowe. And while I appreciate the effort, I'm sorry to say that the people running these videos more often than not, unfortunately, do not understand the breadth of the issues we are dealing with. They do not understand the consequences of the worldview they are either affirming or denying. And this has really troubled me for quite some time. It appears to me that whereas on the one hand we have a problem that there are the Jews which the algorithm loves to promulgate, such as Mizrahi and Boteach, in order to rage bait us, there are Jews who are becoming promulgators of toxic positivity. And they are also guilty of not taking philosophical quandaries seriously enough. The problem of suffering, the problem of evil, the problem of the evolution that we know, as opposed to the the extremely different understanding of the creation of the world and our place here that our sages spoke about. It is an entirely different worldview with which we must wrestle these days. And I can only say that I myself am a very small voice in this arena, but I'm trying. And I hope that this message can help inspire maybe some of you who have been hesitant to try, but have what to share and what to contribute. I beg you not to give up on those dreams. There are there's almost no good Jewish voices who can take the panel with William Lane Craig, with Alex O'Connor, Joe Foley, Philip Goff, just to name some. There aren't even that many who can take Dawkins. And in my eyes, Dawkins was the least intelligent, theistically, of the four horsemen of the new atheists. And I don't mean to say that Dawkins is not an intelligent person. I think he's quite the brilliant biologist. But when it comes to theology, it is a different field, and it is a different type of understanding of how the world works. If this message resonates with you, please reach out. Again, it's a philosophicaljew@gmail.com. And you don't even have to reach out with me. Just create your own create your own pathway forward in which you can be a vessel for the next round of those who participate in the YouTube philososphere. I genuinely hope to see more Jewish voices out there. I genuinely hope to see people who take this seriously. Um, I'm just going to end with a few resources for you. If any of you are interested in deep Jewish philosophy with thinkers who are respected, I'd recommend checking out Rabbi Shnayor Burton. He has a very beautiful Substack called Unapologetics. He deals with how to essentially live life by the dictates of the Torah and the Tanakh, and with what the prophets wanted us to take with us in our daily lives. Um, he is also quite the philosophically rigorous mind. If you are interested in a more technical philosophical Jewish resource, I would recommend Rabbi Dr. Samuel Lebens. I believe his website is samlebens.com or samlebens.org. I think it's .com, but he has a bunch of articles and books there. The articles are free of charge, most of them, and they are quite fascinating. They cover topics such as everything, from analytical philosophy, such as, is God a person? An interesting paper that I really recommend. Maimonides and the Afterlife updated to reflect current psychological and sociological understandings of the self. And we've really just and a few other resources are J.J. Kimchi. I think he's a direct descendant of the Radak. If that tickles anybody's fancy. And I recommend Judaism Demystified. They have a great, maybe not as the place to get the answers to all your questions, but they have a good array of people who can help you understand the traditional Jewish approach to many topics. Additionally, I would recommend Yonatan Halevi for the halachic aspect of Judaism, for the more traditional approaches to halacha that have been lost over the past 2 centuries. And I will be trying myself to put out a few series. I'm going to be speaking about, some answers to the problem of evil, probably not classic ones. I'm mostly going to be refuting some of the more popular modern responses to the problem of evil, such as a God of limited powers, um, and things of that nature. I'm going to be taking moments to refute the atheistic worldview, simply because I believe that the teleological and cosmological argument are quite convincing. Um, I'm not philosophically adept enough to understand why the ontological argument works, although I kind of like it. But I think these are all things which are going to be very invaluable resources to anybody who is curious. I hope that you look these resources up. I hope that if you are passionate about these topics and you want to speak about them, that you find a way to do so, because we need more people to do it to a broader public. I'm tired of just seeing Jewish philosophy discussed in Jewish magazines, and Jewish philosophy journals. There needs to be a way for the broader world to respect the Jewish philosophers and to invite them to conversations and to make sure that we are heard as well. Um, I hope you have a great day, and I hope that I will see many more voices emerging in this field. Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Philosophical Jew podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. I have spent many months creating Philosophical Jew, but nearly a decade preparing for it. In addition to the Philosophical Jew podcast, there is also a Substack. The Substack is a platform I use to write on various topics in Jewish and regular thought in the world. Topics such as philosophy and theology primarily. If this interests you, check it out at philosophicaljew.substack.com. Additionally, you can find me on Instagram at @aphilosophical_Jew, and on X as @aphilosophical_Jew, and on Spotify for the audio versions, and on YouTube for the video versions of the podcasts. Occasionally, I do reaction videos, and have a few more coming up. If you enjoyed this content, please consider supporting me on Patreon. The link will be in the description. Have an amazing day.